It's poppin', baby. It's
What
poppin',
is up,
baby.
everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. I am Mel. Thank you all for joining me today. It's this beautiful day outside. It's actually kind of cold, but I apologize for the late start as we were handling some business and we're trying to get things in order. But let's get right into it. It is finals weekend. Finally, the wait is over. The wait is over. We are here. Wolfstein Center will be packed tonight. So let's look at let's take a look at the bracket. Semifinals are set as Pal Chicago advances to the semifinals. They will be playing host city, your number one Cleveland Crunch. And on the left side of the bracket, Amarillo and Toronto 2 and 3 will be going at it against each other. And this ought to be an interesting matchup. So let's take a look at the Amarillo Toronto matchup in detail. As we look at Toronto, the key players for Toronto are Sebastian Lopez, Yevgeny Zayats, Raheem Rose, Leah Ford Allen, and Osman Hussein. Now, out of that bunch, um, Lopez leads the team in scoring. He has 27 goals, 32 points. And right behind him is Zayats. If I butchered that name, I apologize. But nevertheless, those two are the biggest threats for the team, as both Zayats and Lopez and Allen have at least 5 goals or more. But Lopez is the bigger threat as he has 27 goals, and he leads the team in points and goal per average. So this ought to be interesting to see how they match up. And while we're looking at it, let's take a look at Amarillo side, as they are the 3 seed, the number 2 seed, but this is an interesting matchup. So for Amarillo, key players are Christian Segura, David Treviso, Emmanuel Celaya, Miguel Reyes, and Julio Molina. Literally the top 4, actually all 5 of these guys have 10 goals or more. So every last one of them is a threat to score. And the most interesting thing about this is the way that Toronto plays offense. Having the goalkeeper actually come down and be part of the offense to facilitate the ball. That's the
It's
most interesting
poppin',
part of this,
baby.
because this is one of those situations where you really have to play 6-on-6 essentially, or 6-on-5 if you're not including the goalkeeper against Toronto, because Toronto likes to use that goalkeeper as a sixth attacker, and that's what makes their offense so much interesting as opposed to the traditional 5-on-5 offense, because this is one of those scenarios where you really got to watch that goalkeeper, because if nobody's watching him, he can cause a problem. And it's already in a scenario where the Toronto team, the Crusaders, are literally those guys that just give people problems, because you literally have to figure out what they're going to do offensively as they attack. And this is one of those scenarios. I think this could work in Toronto's advantage. Tonight will be a bigger field. This game is at 5 p.m., so they have the first shot to see who's going to be making it to the final. Like I said, Toronto plays an aggressive offense. Their defense is smothering, and so you, as an opposing team, have to wonder, coming into tonight, is this going to be anything different than what you normally see? I don't think it is, but we will see. As for the Bombers play generally a traditional offense. 5 men, they go attack, and they're going to keep attacking. They lead the league from what I saw. I could be wrong, but they lead the league in shots on goal. And that's a scary thing, because they're good at second chance shots. And if you're watching Amarillo, if you're watching Toronto, second chance shots are going to mean a lot in this game, especially because they don't know each other. This is the first meeting between the two. We have yet to see them go at each other. This will be the first time they play each other. So we're going to be in for a treat, because this is going to decide who the Crunch sees, possibly. If it's, we're going to hope it's the Crunch, because I'm pulling for a back-to-back. But they get the first shot at taking a shot at getting to the finals. So this is going to be one of those scenarios where who just wants it more. And I honestly believe this is going to be the toughest game we see, because both of these teams, rightfully so, could have been at the top if it wasn't the Crunch. So tonight at 5 p.m., we'll see who gets it and who makes it into the final. On the second side of that bracket is a rematch from a couple weeks ago, Pal Chicago and the Crunch. The Crunch beat Pal Chicago in a back-to-back against Chicago Mustangs and Pal Chicago 8-5. And Pal Chicago made it into the semifinals. So this will be a rematch for them. Again, we'll take a look at that as, preview their top five is Marquez, Guerrera, Filian, Mazones, and Mondragon. So they don't score a lot. And in the finals, scoring is going to come at a minimum. This is where defense gets extremely tough. This is where the goalkeeper is going to be put on edge for both teams, because, again, the Crunch can score and they love to attack. Coach Manfoot is always out for blood. If you watch these games and you watch how the Crunch play, they are always out for blood, because they're going to put pressure on not only the defense, but the goalkeeper himself, because 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s have been abundant this season for the Crunch, and they have gone about 75% of the time scoring on those advantage plays. Marquez and Guerrera lead the team in goals at both 11. Filian, Manzones, and Mondragon all have 5 apiece or more. And they're going to need every bit of that, because, again, this is one of those situations where you're not playing at the soccerplex. And if you watch the Crunch at all, when you see them on a bigger field, things change dramatically. What I mean by that is the Crunch's offense is more spread out, it's more diverse, it's more attack oriented, because the space is there. And because the space is there, Coach Manfoot is liable to come up with anything to create an advantage, and generally it works. The Crunch averaged 10 goals a game. So this is a situation for Pal Chicago where the defense has to step up. And if the defense doesn't step up, it's going to be a long night for them. I'm pulling for the Crunch, but it's anybody's game tonight. We got to be fair about it. You love it or hate it, it's also the truth. It's anybody's weekend, but I'm pulling for the Crunch personally. So we're going to make sure that happens. While we're at it, let's take a look at the women's final, because, again, this is an important day for MLIS as well. As I can't say I'm surprised by this, but the Chicago Lady Mustangs have made it to the women's final, and Summit City United, the ladies, have made it there. I'm interested in this one, and the reason I'm interested in this one is because, whether you like to admit it or not as fans, the Mustangs have a good soccer program. Now, has it been what it was in past? No, it hasn't. But their soccer program is consistent. And it's amazing to see that the Mustangs and Summit City, for Summit City's being their first year in the women's MLIS, this is interesting because I'm excited to see this game. For Fort Wayne, key players are Leela, Rachel Swagert, Alyssa Weissman, Natalie Zimmerman, and Kim Ortega. Um, Caitlin Geisler is the goalkeeper for Fort Wayne. She's 3-1. She's got 55 saves on the season, which is amazing. So that she's very reactive to the situation. So good luck getting anything past her. Leela has 11 goals on the season, and she's on the tear right now. So she's averaging 4 a game, which is awesome. And I'm just, what can you say about that? As you know, Fort Wayne or Summit City has come in and they've done their best to make a good claim to be a team to watch out for next season. For Chicago, Nunez, Walter, Collins, Castellanos, and Garcia are the key players for the Lady Mustangs. Nunez is just on fire this season. She's got 21 goals. She averages 4.5 a game, and she's just one that you want to watch out for. This actually will be a rematch of the two, as you know, Chicago took both games against Fort Wayne, 9-2 on March 29th, and then 7-6 on March 8th. So they're no strangers to each other. They are familiar with each other, and this is going to be an interesting scenario. And this will decide the first ever women's MLIS champion. So good luck to both teams. It just ought to be an interesting game. Ought to be an exciting game nonetheless. And I'm so pumped for this weekend, man. You don't understand. But back to the bracket in the men's side. It kind of looked like this, the last 3 weeks of the season. You kind of knew how this was going to end up. I'm not surprised at 2 and 3 because, like I said, either Amarillo or Toronto could have taken first place at any point in the season and not let it go, but the Crunch resiliency gave them the shot. They also have beaten Toronto twice, and I believe they beat Amarillo. So this is just one of those scenarios where, again, it is anybody's chance to win, but I think the Crunch honestly are too pumped up for this. Not saying that in a bad way, but you got to finally, after 5 years, get the chance to come back home and host the finals. I don't think they're going to let anybody down, knocking on wood, and I'm excited. So, we're gonna let this play out the way it should play out, and I will see most of you fans there. If you can't watch it online tonight, but if you can be in attendance, get your tickets now before they get gone, because this is going to be one of those memorable moments where it's time to get in gear. So for the 216 Sports Network, I am Mel saying we will see you guys tonight. Got a taste for something sweet? Planning a party? Or just want a midnight snack? Clarissa's Confections is a local treat maker here in Cleveland and has made many delectable and delicious treats for the young and old. Her treats are made to order and can be customized to your needs at any occasion. To place your orders, email her at sweetsbyclarice@gmail.com or call her at 440-805-4303. Hey Cleveland soccer fans, for the first time in over 20 years, the Cleveland Crunch returned home to the CSU Wolstein Center as Major League Indoor Soccer comes to Cleveland for its men's and women's finals weekend, April 11th through the 13th. Come check out all the fast-paced, goal-scoring action and watch your hometown Cleveland Crunch make their chase for a 6th league title and see who will be crowned the first ever Women's Major League Indoor Soccer champion. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com/Cleveland Crunch or scan the QR code and get your tickets now.